Alright everyone, welcome to this video. In this video we're going to cover basically case studies that we have of the businesses we worked with, basically showing you guys exactly the results that we've had for them. So let's say in this case for Paris hair salons we've got 142% boost in visitors. For here we have Empire Barbershop, we've got a 101% boost in visitors. To the website, ClickShip, same thing around 110% boost, some other things here. And then let's say Elko Roofing, which we've got here, we got 308% boost in visitors on the website, as well as 429% boost in leads. So we're going to cover basically what we did for them, how we used, in most cases, in most of these businesses, basically every single aspect of this whole funnel, how we've helped them grow their business and how we helped them scale. So let's jump into, first, I'm just going to cover this fast, actually, before jumping into it. Just this whole funnel just covers every single way to optimize your service business online. So when I say every single way, basically every single way, so I would say 99% of the ways you can. So from when a lead notices your business, so optimizing every single aspect of your presence online, then increasing the likelihood that when the lead notices you, they inform themselves, and from that information they end up contacting you. So optimizing your website, your content, your online reputation for that purpose. Then after that, increasing when a lead contacts you, the likelihood that they're going to actually purchase from you. So increasing your automations within your inquiries, your appointments, your walk-ins, increasing your automating these processes, and also increasing your conversion rate, your close rate. Then after that, from when a lead purchases from you, all the services, the offers you could include, increasing your AOV and your LTV. And then when the client receives the service, the onboarding and the post-delivery type of implementation. So this is what we're going to cover here of what we did for those businesses. So I'm going to go from the left. So we're going to go here with Paris hair salons. And by the way, these are examples. We're going to build out more case studies in the future, but these are the main ones that we've had where we had the most interesting results, we could say. And so these, here we have two salons. We have one logistics company and we have a roofing company. These tricks apply to any type of service business. So, these are very varying. If we look at these three, they're very varying. These apply to most service businesses, and I would say that these apply even the most to local service businesses, because most local service businesses don't have these implementations in place. They're probably lacking, and they're probably not optimally set up in most of these aspects. So without further ado, let's go into it here. So Paris hair salons, what did we do for Paris hair salons? Well, let me show you some statistics here. These are from Wix. So site sessions, so if we go here, it's May 1st to July 15, 2024, and then July 15 to October 1st, 2024. So this is a little bit, it's difficult to say if it's all, we can't claim every single one of these results just because there's seasonality changes for hair salons. So maybe, during the July to October season was a higher, how would you say, the higher volume season for people coming to the salon. But in any case, the results are very, it's very sharp. It's a very sharp change. So you can see how between these days, before we started improvements, so the improvements started July 15th. Before we started them, they were doing this amount of volume, and then they increased to almost triple in terms of site sessions, and something like double or whatever. What did I say here in terms of percentage? We have a 72% boost in clicks to contacts, but 142% boost in visitors to site. So basically 142% more people visiting the site between that period, this period. In terms of clicks to contact, which basically for them, they want people to call them, because if they call them, there's more appointments booked at their salon. Went from 261 clicks to contact to 451, so an increase there. And then after that, if we look at the actual stats, we've got, so that's it here, 142% boost in unique visitors, a 72% boost in clicks to contact. And then in terms of pages, we've increased their website by 20 pages. And that's basically an SEO strategy where we're trying to rank for 20 different major keywords that we believe people are searching for in terms of their hair salon in that region, where they're at. I'm not going to disclose more information about the business. I still want to keep them private. But in any case, this is what we were able to do. Now, what did we do in terms of website optimization? Well, we basically changed the website from looking from this to looking to this, here like this. And a lot of the optimizations we did were less aesthetic, because there are some aesthetic optimizations, like increasing the call to action. Now here it's blocked because I don't want to share the number, but call to action is more front, directions is more front. It's easier to interact with. it's easier to interact with in this website. You can really see the call us button here. You didn't have much more information about how to contact them, how to reach them, how to see them. You had their hours and whatever it may be, but you didn't have that information front and center. So basically, when we did the optimization, we tried to make it as easy as possible for people to contact them, especially for a service business like a hair salon, where it's a very low ticket service. What you want to make it as easy as possible for people to just come and see you. So you want to give them all the information up front, because most people are not going to take too much time looking into your business. They probably already have an idea, or maybe they're even recurring customers. In most cases for hair salons, it's recurring customers. And so they just want a place to click a button. So you want to allow them that, and you want to make it more obvious. So let's say in the buttons here, we give some shadows, we put some borders, we put some icons there just to attract more the attention and really get them to increase the likelihood that they click on it. Some other improvements we made was including some testimonials. They didn't have many testimonials here, so including some testimonials from their Facebook, their Google, 5-star reviews, of course, some images of the type of services they have, so some more details about the actual services they do, as well as some SEO improvements. By including these words, we're able to rank for certain keywords, and so on and so forth. So these are the major ones here, the major improvements we made. Then after that, if I am to look here in the actual work performed, I could go more in depth here. So we created them an advanced website with 20 pages. So front-end SEO, we did some keyword research, title tag and meta description optimization. To be honest, keyword research, we didn't do that extensive of keyword research. It didn't need that much of optimization there. It was very simple for their type of business, especially with the competition that was very low. But in any case, we're able to optimize their title tags, meta descriptions for every single page, H1, H2, H3 headers, the URLs, the snippets, the domain, the content on the pages. Then backend SEO, we're able to connect all these things just to make it simpler, upload the XML sitemap to Google, and so on. Website design, call to action optimization, branding, keeping it on brand with the website and including some testimonials like mentioned before. Website structure, above the fold, below the fold, booking calendar. So basically we restructured the whole website. So instead of being in this type of pattern, we moved around the pattern so that the information we believe was more pertinent to the clients was up front. Then after that, in terms of the pages, I shouldn't go back here. So in terms of the pages, we added 20 pages, but that's included in basically in general with all these things here. So future results, all the elements were optimized for Paris hair salons should improve their results through time. Certain elements in the SEO will take 6 to 12 months to take major effect. So we might be able to do a case study in the future, just giving an update of every single result that they've received. So that's it for Paris hair salon. Now we're going to jump into Empire Barbershop. Basically, when I go down the line here, there's going to be more and more things that we did for that business. So in terms of Empire Barbershop, what we optimized was their website, as well as their Google My Business profile. So we got their website from looking like this to looking like this, increasing, basically all the information, a little bit like we did for Paris hair salons, just optimizing the look and feel of it, as well as we optimized the Google My Business so that it had more information, more details about it, more, here we added some products, we added some categories, we added FAQs. We connected, yes, that's it. So we created a description here. So we added a bunch of information for them. So before and after, you can see how the difference is more attractive, as well as some images. We added the images there. We can't see them just because the previews are still the main photo and the outside photo. But in terms of images, we added a bunch of images there. So if people are looking at that, they could find it easily. In terms of the results of traffic to the website, I can show you here. This comparison is a little bit more fair because we're comparing the exact same dates one year to the other. So July 15th to October 1st, 2023, compared to July 15th to October 1st, 2024. So at least seasonality changes are not going to be too applicable. But at the same time, we can't claim every single one of these results because maybe the business was already in a growth pattern. And so in any case, they would have had a boost of visitors to their site. But still, it's still interesting to note how we almost tripled the amount of visitors they had to their site in terms of, that's it. In terms of site sessions, almost tripled, and then in terms of unique visitors, doubled. So that's it here. If we look at the new versus returning visitors, the statistics there, we've got site sessions, many more site sessions. The real metric we're trying to see here is unique visitors. Site session doesn't really matter because people might be revisiting the site multiple times. Now, in terms of contacts, if we look here, we had a total of 552 contacts, so 552 phone calls to the business. So if we see here 552, and then after that we've had 1,266 total clicks to contact. Now the issue that we had with this business to try to track these metrics is that they actually ended up having a software, a booking software called Squire, and so they were using that software to connect on the website, leading to some of the contacts to be through the web, to the app, instead of just being a direct call. So we can't really, you see here the calls went down, 116 calls from those 552, but in terms of total contacts we have 1,150 clicks to the booking software. So it's difficult to say exactly in terms of how many more leads they've had, but in terms of actual clicks to contact or actually reach out attempts, we've doubled those. So that's an interesting one here. So if I go to this, now if I see here, in terms of Google My Business results, we've had all these optimizations there. And then for the website, just to reiterate again, we've had all of this here again. So that's it there. Okay, so now let's see here the actual work performed here. So we see this, we were able to optimize their front-end SEO, a little bit like Paris Hair Salon, their back-end SEO, website design, website structure, and the site speed. So this is an important one also. We improved their site speed. I don't have the actual statistics. Do I have it here? Yeah, site speed. So unmeasured before, but we got it down to under 1 second. So basically the website was loading under 1 second, which is the target for any type of website you want to optimize for. And I'll give you guys a statistic just to show you why that is important. So if I go here to website speed, yeah, I have it right here. So this is not an all-encompassing statistic. This is going to depend on the type of industry you're in or whatever it may be, but just to know the type of effect in terms of conversion rate. So you can see here 31% conversion rate when it was 0 to 1 second loading speed, drops down by 30% to 20% between 1 to 2 second loading speed, 2 to 3 second loading speed at 13, 3 to 4 at 13, and it keeps going down when every second is added. So in the end, what you want is you want to keep your conversion rate to be as low as possible, your speed of your website to be as low as possible to increase the maximum of your conversion rate. We always aim to be under 1 second, so be between 0 and 1. Obviously, to be at 0 would be the best, but it's unrealistic for most businesses because the amount of effort you have to put to be closest to 0 just becomes exponentially harder and exponentially less valuable for the business. So if you're under 1 second, usually that means you have a fast loading website or fast enough. So we did that. So LCP, we increased the site speed, we increased the amount of pages they had, so 9 pages we added. Conversion rate in terms of statistic, 14% increase in conversion rate, and boosts in terms of visitors was 101%. So let me go back here to what we did. So website structure, website design, site speed, and then we also improved the Google My Business. So review sites, Google My Business, and the Facebook, we optimized it there. So the maps, the Google Maps, and socials was the Facebook. So basically that's what we did. Same thing for the future results. Some SEO improvements are going to take 6 to 12 months, which once again, I'm going to probably do another case study in the future just to see how those results have done through time. And if we can't compare, month over month, if there's any improvements there. So that's it for Empire Barbershop. Then after that, which by the way, just as another side note, if ever you guys want to download our trainings, we have 12 trainings going over how to actually apply these strategies. So now I'm talking about what they are, but we have these 12 trainings here. So, for SEO, we have a training on the front-end SEO, back-end SEO, link building SEO, basically covering every single way you could optimize your search engine optimization is kind of it's repeating myself, but how to improve your SEO strategies so that you rank higher on Google and even Bing. So we are going to have some strategies for Bing SEO. In any case, if you want to download those, they're going to be linked in the description below for free. So you get access to those. And if you want to access this whole funnel, this whole bundle here, this is going to be a paid product, but it's also going to be linked in the description below. Now, let's go to ClickShip, which ClickShip is a company that's a little bit less of a local service business because what they do is they have kiosks and those kiosks are spread out through Canada. And so what they're trying to do is try to get attraction for people to go to those kiosks. So they feel more like an e-commerce brand than a service business. But in any case, what they were able to do for them, as you can see here in the statistics, June 15th to October 1st, so 1 year apart, we were able to double the amount of site sessions and double the amount of unique visitors to their website. So you see the statistics here, site sessions, you have your bounce rate, you have your average session duration, bounce rate here, average session duration, average pages per session. Statistics that are less worth it, but in any case, Site speed, once again, we got their LCP under to 316 milliseconds. So basically the website is loading, the main aspects of the website are loading in 0.3 seconds. So that gives us a nice metric, and that allows us to have higher conversion rates. We also did a lot for their Google My Business. In their case, there was a special case. They had around 50 Google My Business profiles, so we were able to optimize most of them, if not all, I believe. So some of them were temporarily closed, some of them were suspended, some of them were blocked, so we were able to unblock those, get them back up and running, and then getting them some reviews from customers through emails. We were able to email some old customers to try to get them the reviews, and then, you know, adding some products here, the reviews there, and even adding a blog as well as all the profiles to their social media and other information that might be worth it. So that also increased their conversion rate in terms of when people see their Google Maps, now they're more likely to click and visit their site. In terms of the website design, so the website design was a shorter website design done in, I believe, 2019. So we updated it, modernized it, included more features, included more explanation, more reviews and testimonials. You know, they have over 11,000 people who they've worked with, who they've done their services for. So we're able to add all those things and then just make the design a little bit clearer, a little bit more explanatory of what they actually do, then help people find a kiosk near them. You know, have this button here, have this button there, have all this access here. It just makes it easier to read, easier to understand than all this information that was here back then. So that's what we did here. And the results, if I go to the in-depth results, from 2,000 visitors to 4,200 visitors a month, so an increase of 110% for the same period of time, just 1 year apart. Site speed unmeasured before, but now it's a 0.36 LCP. Pages live on Google. For them, in their case, we created a lot of pages, so trying to really get attraction for a bunch of keywords because their business spans a lot of regions. So we created for them 196 pages, well, 195 extra pages, and we optimized them with these features as well. I'm not going to go through all the pages because it gets too extensive, but in any case, that's what we did, as well as optimize all 52 Google My Business profiles. So that's what we did for them here. Work performed, as you can see here, a little bit more extensive. So front-end SEO, back-end SEO. We did some programmatic SEO for them. So it was the ultimate website, as we call it. Breadcrumb navigation, href tags, you know, a bunch of extra optimizations there. Website design, some miscellaneous optimizations and so on. Website structure, loading pages, blogs, and so on, globalization, and so on. In their case, we didn't actually do a loading page. It wasn't worth it in our mind, as well as a pop-up. We're going to probably include this in the future. But in any case, site speed as well, improving all their site speed to really maximize it. So you see how the improvements here led us to a 0.36 by really, you know, dialing it down here. In terms of directories, we increased all their presence on every single directory, basically created them a profile on every single one of these. So if people were searching for their service, they were going to be more likely to pop up, and that also helps for SEO. Review sites, same thing, created their profiles on all the review sites, all the maps, all the socials, and we created some content, some basically image content. So it's not content that's really used to attract people, it's just more authority building. So basically just to show that, okay, our business is alive, ClickShip is alive, we're on all these platforms, so you could see that we're actually in business. So if you want to interact with us, we're actually going to answer you back. We actually have stuff to offer you. So that's what we did here. And in terms of future results, same things for the SEO. Maybe I should do a case study in the future. Now, one of the most interesting ones that we worked with was Elko Roofing. Elko Roofing, we did a lot more in terms of all this here, as well as some extra miscellaneous optimizations, like sending emails out for them on their behalf to their past customers, trying to get them repeat customers, trying to get them employees. We help them on Facebook listings and Facebook postings and stuff like that. Now, if I see here the results, actually I'm going to go from the results here. So conversion rate, the boost is insignificant. It's not a very high boost in terms of conversion rate, but the reason why this boost is so low is because the extreme increase in unique visitors. So we increased the visitors by 300%, which doesn't seem like much, you know, going from 79 to 244 compared to this business here. But, you know, the average order value of a roof, you know, depending on the type of business you are, I'm not going to speak for them, but, you know, if you were to Google average cost of a roof in your city, it's probably going to be $30,000. So one lead for them is worth a lot more than a lead, let's say, for ClickShip, where their average order value is probably going to be around $100. So just to give you an example here, why this conversion rate might seem low, but if we didn't have this boost in unique visitors, this conversion rate would be much higher. In any case, 308% increase in visitors, 429% boost in website form leads. This is for the first month. So comparing, you know, if I were to compare here, I believe that's it. So September 2023 to September 2024. Site speed, we were able to get them to 1.1 aiming to get them lower. Maybe in the future we'll be able to optimize them even further, but already it was a good boost for the amount of stock they have, because their website, as you could see here, this is the main page of the website. A little bit blurry just because the screenshot's a little bit blurry, but in any case, you see there's a lot of information going on, and we wanted this to increase conversion rates, but it has an effect, a negative effect in terms of the site speed. But this is something we've sacrificed. We believe it was worth the sacrifice, but in any case, you know, comparing from before, here was a video, so it was affecting the site speed a lot. Then after that, do follow backlinks. We created some follow backlinks for them to rank higher on SEO. Pages live on Google, we created for them 178 pages, and then we increased their domain rating by 200%. All these are secondary metrics. You know, the real metrics you want to see is basically this. This is what you're looking for, and these are all just indications that what you did, what you're doing here will have an effect on this. So let me go back up here and just show you. So Google My Business optimization, we reclaimed the Google My Business. They didn't even have it claimed, so they didn't have access to it. They couldn't change the images on it. So that was a big issue that we were able to fix. Getting them more reviews also, we've put them on a plan, a structured plan to get them more reviews on the Google My Business. Now I believe they're at 35 since this update, but in any case, added some products, added some features here, added a blog, automated blog, added all their profiles to all their social media, so if people want to search them up, they could see them here. Website, once again, redesigned, added some reviews. Here the reviews don't all load just because of the screenshot, that's how it's made, but in any case, there's a bunch of reviews here, then they're sliding, so that helps with the conversion rate. We put the form up at the top, so instead of having the form, you know, being at a contact page or being at the bottom of the page, we added it at the top. So if somebody already knows that they want a free quote, they just fill out the form and they're done, instead of having to scroll around or press buttons to do so. We made the buttons a little bit sharper, a little bit more popping, so they look more like buttons, so they increase the likelihood that people click on it. So optimizations there. Images, being more descriptive about the services, giving some more images about the service you actually did, explaining the whole process of how this whole thing works. The promises, a little bit more about them. So you see how the page is a lot more descriptive. So if somebody's looking for more information, they could just keep scrolling, and then in the end having every single location that they serve. So if people are looking for their specific location, they could be assured that their quote is not going to end up in an inbox and never get answered. So that's it there. These are the main optimizations we did. And then after that, we also did for every single social media profile that they had. So I'll give you an example here. We have their Instagram. So we went from this to looking like this. So, you know, a lot more optimized, a lot more information. Obviously this is blocked for privacy issues, but in any case, more information here, all the stuff there. It's just some highlights, just increasing the attractiveness of their Instagram profile. Same thing for their Facebook, same thing for their, I believe this is LinkedIn, and that's it. Okay, so that's pretty much it for everything here. This is what we did for Vizions, with Vizions Digital. This is what we did for these businesses. If ever you're interested in having these things done for your business, you can contact us. We have a link to our booking calendar below. Or else if you want to access our 12 free trainings, you could download those for free, also linked below. And if you want to access this whole bundle, there's also a link for that in the description below. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned a little bit. If you want to actually apply all these things, we have them in the training, so more in depth. And we also have our Vizions Digital YouTube channel that has in-depth tutorials how to technically do all these things with the softwares and so on. So that's pretty much it for the video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.